In the mid-1200s, a group of horsemen from Central Asia slashed their way into Russia. They were known as the Mongols. The Russians put up a good defense, but were eventually conquered and forced to obey Mongol rule. But still, a pocket of resistance existed within Russia. The Mongol invasion of Russia consisted of the fearsome Mongols invading Russia and other European countries. The Mongols developed a fighting reputation among Europe as a result of the invasion. But first, the Mongols were under control of Genghis Khan in the beginning of 1200s, one of the most feared warriors of all time. Although Genghis Khan died in 1227, his successors continued his conquering that he had begun. In 1240, Khan's successor continued his teachings and eventually invaded Kiev, which was very important in history because it was a big city in Russia that the Mongols soon called home for over 200 years. The Mongols, who originated from Asia, were forced out of their homeland by economic and military pressures. What excited them about leaving was all the riches and wealth of the cities in the west. Their vehicles for travel were swift horses that they rode throughout the steppes of Asia and on into Europe. Along the way, they were known as the ruthless brutality because their reputation on killing and burning cities throughout their voyage to Europe. Through this long passage, the Mongols' leader, Genghis Khan, due to sickness and injury that he had suffered in the past year of falling off a horse, died. He died during a campaign against the Chinese kingdom of Xia in 1227.
Before Genghis Khan died, he appointed a successor. The successor was named Ogedei Khan, and while Ogedei and other successors ruled, the Mongols made great progress in their conquest of Europe. The Mongols got through Europe with Genghis Khan and his successors, and eventually got to Russia. The Mongols kept riding their horses all the way through, and began getting ready to take Russia. Finally, on December 6, 1230, after more than a week of fighting, the Mongols took over Kiev and the rest of Russia.
Although the Russians obeyed their Mongol rulers, pockets of resistance existed. The city of Moscow was a crude village protected by a long wall and was also located next to three major rivers, the Volga, Dnieper, and Don. Princes who take control of these rivers can be very powerful, and they emerge in Moscow to do just that. Prince Ivan I had earned gratitude of the Mongols by helping to demolish a Russian rebel against Mongol rule. For that, the Mongols trusted him, and the Mongols appointed Ivan I as a tax collector. They nicknamed him the Grand Prince. Ivan I became the most compelling prince of all Russia. His criticism was no longer needed when Russian forces and troops won the standoff at the Ugar River, which began the rebellion with the great and mighty Mongols. The Mongols sprung out of nowhere and used their heightened army to destroy anything in their path. Genghis Khan was a fearsome leader and stopped at nothing to get what he wanted, and that is why the Mongols and their rules are still very well known today. Although the Mongols conquered Russia in a very fierce and demanding manner, pockets of resistance existed, and there is evidence of that in several first-hand accounts of captured Russians. After a time, the Russian resistance broke free of Mongol rule. Prince Ivan I worked with the Mongols to gain their trust, but in the end took back Russia in the standoff at the Ugar River.